Imagine a river that never stops flowing. You step into the cool water, but the water you touch is already gone. This is the core of our existence. We spend our lives building heavy fortresses against the tide. We try to freeze the moments we love and flee from the ones we fear. But Buddhism teaches us a different way. Impermanence is not a tragedy. It is not a loss of hope. It is the very foundation of our freedom. To understand this is to find peace. Welcome to the path of the changing heart. The first step on this path begins with a deep look at our pain. Most of us walk through life with a heavy weight in our chest. It is the weight of holding on. We believe that if we can just keep things the same, we will be safe. We want our relationships to remain in the honeymoon phase forever. We want our health to never decline. We want our successes to be permanent monuments to our worth. But the universe does not work this way. Every breath we take is a birth, and every breath we release is a death. In Buddhism, this is called anicca. It is the fundamental law of change. Many people hear this word and feel a cold shiver of dread. They see it as a reminder of loss. They see it as a shadow looming over their joy. But the shadow only exists because we are trying to block the light. The root of our suffering is not change itself. The root is our resistance to it. Think of a leaf in autumn. It does not cling to the branch with white knuckles. It does not cry out in terror as its color fades. It simply lets go when the time is right. It trusts the wind, and it trusts the ground. We, however, are not like the leaf. We are like the person trying to glue the dead leaves back onto the tree. We exhaust ourselves in a battle we can never win. This struggle creates a constant background noise of anxiety. It hums in our ears when we are trying to sleep. It whispers to us that everything we love will be taken away. This is why we feel so fragile. We have built our happiness on shifting sands. We try to command the waves to stop, but the ocean does not listen. The wisdom of Zen teaches us to stop fighting the water. Instead, we are invited to learn how to swim. We must look closely at the things we fear. Why does the idea of change scare us so deeply? It is because we have tied our identity to things that are temporary. We say, "I am my job," or "I am my youth." When those things begin to shift, we feel like we are vanishing. We feel like the ground is disappearing beneath our feet. But what if the ground was never there to begin with? What if you were always the sky, and the changes were just clouds passing through? This realization is the beginning of inner strength. It is the moment we stop being victims of time. We begin to see that change is not an enemy, but the very pulse of life. Without change, there would be no growth. There would be no flowers, no sunsets, and no new beginnings. The static world we dream of is actually a graveyard. Only that which changes is truly alive. So, we breathe in. We acknowledge the fear, but we do not let it drive the car. We look at the world with clear eyes. We see the cycles of birth and decay, and in that seeing, we find a strange, quiet power. It is the power of the observer. It is the power of the one who knows that this too shall pass. Not just the bad things, but the good things as well. And that is perfectly okay. The illusion of permanence is the most convincing mask we wear. We spend our days meticulously arranging our lives. We buy houses. We sign contracts. We make plans for 10 years from now. There is a comfort in these structures. They give us the feeling that we have conquered the chaos of the world. But underneath the surface, the tectonic plates are always moving. The Zen masters often speak of the broken cup. They look at a beautiful vessel and say, "To me, it is already broken." This sounds cynical to the modern ear. It sounds like a way to drain the joy out of the present. But it is actually the ultimate act of appreciation. When you know the cup is already broken, you cherish every moment it holds water. You handle it with a gentle grace. You do not take its presence for granted. Most of us treat our lives like a cup that will last forever. We leave it on the edge of the table. We forget to wash it with care. We only realize its value when it lies in shards on the floor. This is the tragedy of the human condition. We wait for the loss to happen before we truly love. Buddhism asks us to reverse this process. It asks us to embrace the loss before it occurs. By doing this, we strip away the fear that poisons our current joy. Imagine how you would treat a loved one if you truly felt the impermanence of the moment. You would listen more deeply. You would forgive more quickly. The petty arguments would dissolve like salt in water. The ego thrives on the idea of forever. The ego wants to build a kingdom that will never fall. It wants to be right. It wants to be known. It wants to endure. But the ego is a ghost story we tell ourselves. It is a collection of memories and projections. None of it is solid. When we realize that we ourselves are a process of change, the weight lifts. We are not the same person who started reading this sentence. Millions of cells have died and been reborn in the last few minutes. Our thoughts have flickered like lightning across the brain. Our emotions have ebbed and flowed like the tide. We are a river, not a rock. And yet, we try to act like rocks. We try to be consistent, rigid, and unchanging. This rigidity is what causes the soul to crack. A tree that cannot bend in the storm will eventually snap. The bamboo, which is hollow and flexible, survives the gale. To be like the bamboo, we must accept our own emptiness. We must accept that there is no permanent self to protect. This is not a loss of personality. It is a gain of immense freedom. We are free to be new in every moment. We are free to let go of the mistakes of the yesterday. We are free to step out of the cages we built for ourselves. The world is chaotic. Yes, but the chaos is only frightening if you are trying to control it. If you join the dance, the chaos becomes a symphony. It becomes a beautiful display of energy in motion. We look at the stars, and we do not feel sad that they will one day burn out. We marvel at their light right now. This is the wisdom we must bring into our own hearts. We are stars in the making, and stars in the fading. Both are equally holy. To see the world through the Zen lens is to see things as they are. We usually see things through the filter of our desires. We look at a garden and we see weeds we want to pull. We look at a person and we see flaws we want to change. We are always trying to edit reality. But Zen asks us to put down the red pen. It asks us to look at the falling leaf and see only the falling leaf. There is a profound beauty in the fleeting nature of things. Think of a cherry blossom. In Japan, the blossom is a symbol of the warrior's spirit, not because it is strong, but because it is brief. Its beauty is tied directly to its disappearance. If the blossoms stayed on the trees all year, they would become wallpaper. We would walk past them without a second thought. It is the fact that they will be gone by Tuesday that makes the heart ache with wonder. This is the secret of the universe. Fragility is the source of all value. When we apply this to our own lives, our perspective shifts. We stop waiting for the perfect time to be happy. We stop thinking that peace is a destination we reach at the end of the road. We realize that peace is the road itself. Even the difficult moments have a texture we can appreciate. The cold wind on your face, the sting of a disappointment, the exhaustion after a long day. These are all signs that you are part of the living world. They are proof of your participation in the great mystery. The Zen master says, when hungry, eat. When tired, sleep. This sounds simple, almost too simple, but it is an invitation to be fully present with the current state of change. Most of us eat while thinking about work. We sleep while dreaming of the future. We are never where our feet are. We are always elsewhere, chasing a ghost of permanence. To find inner strength, we must return to the now. We must realize that the now is the only place where change can be experienced as a gift. In the present moment, impermanence is not a theory. It is a sensation. It is the feeling of the breath entering the lungs and the feeling of it leaving. It is the sound of a car passing by, fading into the distance. Each moment is a complete universe. Each moment is born, lives, and dies, making room for the next. When we live this way, we become unshakable, not because we are hard, but because we are fluid. If you hit water with a hammer, the water is not hurt. It simply moves around the blow and returns to its natural state. This is the strength of the mindful soul. We let the world happen to us. We let the emotions wash over us. We do not grab them, and we do not push them away. We observe them with a kind of stoic curiosity. Ah, here is sadness. Ah, here is excitement. We see that they are temporary visitors in the guest house of the mind. They do not define the house. They are just passing through. This detachment is not coldness. It is a deep, warm intimacy with life. We are finally able to love the world without being destroyed by it. We find the center of the hurricane. While everything rotates in a frenzy of change, the center is still. That stillness is our true home. Let us look at the nature of our own bodies and minds. If we examine ourselves under a microscope, we find no solid thing. We are a colony of trillions of cells, each working in a cycle of life and death. Our skin replaces itself every few weeks. Our bones are entirely new every 10 years. Biologically, you are a completely different physical being than you were a decade ago. The same is true of your mind, your opinions, your memories, your preferences. They are all in a state of constant flux. This is not a loss of self. It is the biology of growth. If we were permanent, we would be stuck in the mind of an infant forever. We would never learn, never evolve, never transcend our limitations. Change is the mechanism of wisdom. Every mistake we make is a form of impermanence, a chance to shed an old skin. Every heartbreak is a breaking open of the chest, allowing more light to enter. But we often treat our psychological wounds as if they are permanent scars. We say, "I am traumatized," or "I am a failure." We turn a temporary state into a solid identity. This is where we go wrong. In the light of Buddhism, even our suffering is impermanent. This is the most hopeful news a human being can receive. No matter how dark the night, the sun must rise. No matter how deep the grief, the heart will eventually find a new rhythm. The only reason suffering persists is that we keep feeding it with the fuel of memory. We keep reliving the past, trying to change what has already dissolved, or we keep worrying about a future that hasn't been born yet. We are caught in the middle of two things that do not exist. The past is a memory trace. The future is a mental projection. Only the changing present is real. When we align ourselves with this reality, we find a powerful practical solution. We begin to practice active letting go. This is not a passive surrender. It is a conscious choice to move with the flow of time. When a door closes, we do not spend years banging on the wood. We turn around and look for the window that is opening. We cultivate a beginner's mind. In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities. In the expert's mind, there are few. The expert is rigid. He thinks he knows how things should be. The beginner is open. He is ready for whatever change brings. This openness is the source of all creativity. It is the source of all joy. When we stop demanding that the world be stable, we can finally enjoy its play. We become like the artist who works in the sand. He spends hours creating an intricate mandala, and then, when it is finished, he sweeps it away. He does not cry. He does not feel his work was in vain. The joy was in the creation, not in the keeping. The keeping is a burden. The creating is a dance. We are all sand artists. Our lives are mandalas of light and shadow. The wind will eventually blow them all away. And that is the beauty of the craft. When we realize this, we are no longer afraid of the wind. We are the wind. We are the sand. We are the hand that draws the line. We find an inner peace that the world cannot give, and the world cannot take away. It is the peace of the flowing river. It is the strength of the changing seasons. It is the wisdom of the broken cup. Yet, a voice inside us often protests. It whispers that if everything is fleeting, then nothing truly matters. We hear the word impermanence, and we mistake it for nihilism. We think, if the sunset will fade, why watch it at all? If the love of my life will eventually leave this world, why open my heart? If my work will crumble into dust in 100 years, why build anything? This is the great trap of the ego. The ego believes that value is only found in duration. It believes that for something to be precious, it must be eternal. But Zen teaches us that the opposite is true. The ego's logic is like saying a song is worthless because it ends. Would you want a song that never stops playing? It would become a nightmare, a drone of noise that eventually loses all meaning. The beauty of the melody is found in the silence between the notes. The beauty of the song is found in its movement from beginning to end. When we demand that life be permanent, we are asking for a song to be a single, endless tone. We are asking for the river to be a stagnant pond. We are asking for the breath to be held in the lungs until we suffocate. The nihilism we feel is not caused by change. It is caused by our refusal to find meaning in the passing. Think of a delicious meal. You do not sit at the table and weep because the plate will soon be empty. You do not say, "Since I will be hungry again tomorrow, this food is meaningless." No, you pick up your fork. You smell the spices. You taste the textures. The fact that the meal is finite is exactly what makes you focus on the flavor. If you had an infinite supply of food in front of you, you would eat with boredom. The ending of the meal is what gives the experience its boundary and its grace. Our lives are the same. We are often told that we must leave a legacy to be important. We must build monuments, or write books, or have our names carved in stone. But even stone eventually turns to sand. The stars themselves will one day go dark. If we wait for permanence to find purpose, we will wait forever. The Zen path invites us to find a deeper kind of meaning. It is a meaning that does not depend on results. It is a meaning found in the quality of our presence. When you give a cup of water to a thirsty person, that act is eternal in its own way. Not because it lasts forever, but because it was a moment of pure connection. The void that people fear in Buddhism is not a dark pit of nothingness. It is a pregnant emptiness. It is a field of infinite potentiality. Things arise from it. Dance for a moment, and return to it. To fear this process is to fear the very source of life. We must stop measuring our worth by what we accumulate. We must start measuring our lives by how deeply we touch the present. If you can sit quietly and feel the air on your skin, you have found the secret. You have found a wealth that cannot be stolen by time. The fear of nihilism is just the ego's last stand. It is the ego realizing it cannot control the universe and throwing a tantrum. Let the ego cry, but you, the deeper awareness, can smile. You know that the dance is worth it, precisely because it doesn't last. Then comes the most difficult question of all. Does non-attachment mean we must become cold, like stone statues? Does the path of Zen require us to stop feeling the sting of loss? Many people fear that by embracing change, they are betraying their humanity. They believe that grief is a measure of how much they loved. They believe that if they are not devastated by a departure, they never cared. But there is a profound difference between love and the desire to own. Attachment says, "I love you, therefore you must never leave me." Attachment says, "You are the source of my happiness, so you must stay the same." This is not love. This is a hostage situation. When we attach ourselves to people or things, we are trying to stop their natural evolution. We are trying to put a wild bird in a cage so we can always look at it. The bird may be beautiful, but it is no longer the bird it was meant to be. Its spirit begins to wither in the stillness of the bars. True love, the kind taught in the Buddhist tradition, is an open hand. It is the ability to say, "I love you, and therefore I want you to be free." This includes the freedom to change, and even the freedom to go. When we love with an open hand, we actually experience more intimacy. There is no tension. There is no fear of the inevitable end lurking in the background. We are able to see the person in front of us as they are right now, not as a projection of our needs, but as a living and breathing miracle. And what about the pain? What about the tears that fall when someone we love passes away? Buddhism does not tell us to suppress these tears. The Buddha himself grieved when his close disciples died, but he did not suffer from the grief. Pain is a physical and emotional response to loss. Suffering is the mental story we tell about that pain. Suffering is the, "Why is this happening to me?" Suffering is the, "It shouldn't be this way." When we accept impermanence, we allow the pain to move through us. We do not build a house inside the sorrow. We let the waves of grief wash over the shore, and then we let them recede. We realize that the person we lost was never ours to begin with. They were a gift from the universe, on loan to us for a short time. Instead of being angry that the gift was taken back, we feel gratitude that it was given at all. This is the ultimate counter-argument to the fear of loss. By accepting the end, we make the middle more vibrant. Think of a flower. If you know the flower will wilt by tomorrow, you don't ignore it. You lean in close to catch its scent. You marvel at the color of its petals. Your heart opens because the time is short. Attachment makes us heavy. It makes us clumsy and desperate. It makes us cling to the past until we are dragged down by its weight. But non-attachment makes us light. It allows us to move with the grace of a dancer. We can love more deeply than we ever thought possible, because we are no longer trying to protect ourselves from the truth. We are no longer hiding from the reality of death. And in that honesty, we find a connection that is far more real than any forever. We find a love that is not a chain, but a bridge that allows us to walk together for a while, before we each move on. This is the strength of the mindful heart. It is a heart that is big enough to hold both the joy of meeting and the sorrow of parting, without being broken by either. If impermanence is a law, it is also an invitation. It is the ultimate permission slip to start over. Consider the person you were 5 years ago, or even 5 minutes ago. If change were not possible, you would be a prisoner of your own history. You would be chained to your old habits, your old fears, and your old wounds. You would be a finished painting, with no room for a new brushstroke. But because everything is impermanent, you are a work in progress. You are a river that is constantly cleaning itself as it flows. This is the great opportunity that most people miss. They spend their lives trying to find themselves, as if they were a hidden object. But Zen tells us that there is no self to find. There is only a self to create, in every single moment. If you have lived a life of regret, impermanence is your best friend. It means that the you who made those mistakes is already gone. The person standing here now has a fresh canvas. The atoms in your body have shifted. The neurons in your brain have rewired. You are not the person who failed. You are the person who is learning. This realization is the foundation of true inner strength. It gives us the courage to take risks. It gives us the power to reinvent our lives when the old structures collapse, when a business fails, or a relationship ends, or a health crisis occurs. The world sees a tragedy, but the student of Zen sees a space where something new can grow. Fire clears the forest so that the sun can reach the soil. The old trees must fall so that the new saplings can rise. In our own lives, we must learn to welcome the fire. We must stop seeing change as a destruction of our world and start seeing it as a renovation of our soul. This requires a radical kind of trust, not a trust that things will stay the same, but a trust that we can handle whatever they become. We often ask the universe for stability, but what we really need is agility. A person who is stable is easily knocked over by a large enough force, but a person who is agile can never be truly defeated. They simply adjust their stance. They find a new way to balance. This is the opportunity for change that the title of our journey speaks of. Every moment of chaos is a moment of birth. When the world feels like it is falling apart, it is actually falling into a new shape. Our job is not to hold the old pieces together with tape and string. Our job is to watch the new shape emerge and to decide who we want to be within that new reality. Do you want to be the person who complains about the rain, or do you want to be the person who learns to dance in it? The rain is impermanent. The dance is impermanent. But the spirit that chooses to dance, that is where the power lies. This is how we cultivate wisdom. Wisdom is the ability to see the new in the old. It is the ability to see the end as a beginning. When we stop fighting the current, we find that the current has a direction. It is moving toward growth. It is moving toward clarity. It is moving toward the realization of our true nature. So, take a deep breath. Let go of the person you were yesterday. They have played their part. Now, it is time for the person you are today to take the stage. The curtain is rising. The light is on you. What will you do with this beautiful, fleeting, changing moment? How then do we walk through a world that is constantly shifting? We find the unconditioned within the conditioned. This is the final secret of the wise. Inner peace is not found by running away to a quiet cave. It is found by becoming the quiet center, right in the middle of the noise. Imagine a hurricane. On the edges, The wind is tearing trees out of the ground. The rain is blinding. The debris is flying in every direction. But in the very center, in the eye of the storm, there is a stillness. There is a patch of blue sky. The storm is still happening. It hasn't stopped. But the eye is not affected by the wind. This eye is your awareness. Everything around you will change. Your body will age. Your bank account will fluctuate. The political landscape will shift. The people you love will come and go. These are the winds of the hurricane. If you try to fight the wind, you will be exhausted. If you try to hide from the wind, you will live in fear. But if you reside in the eye, you are safe. You can watch the wind without being moved by it. This is what it means to develop inner strength. It is not the strength of a wall. It is the strength of a mirror. A mirror reflects everything that passes in front of it. It reflects a beautiful flower, and it reflects a rotting fruit. It reflects a fire, and it reflects a flood. But the mirror is never burned by the fire. It is never drowned by the flood. It remains clear, cool, and empty. When the image passes, the mirror remains as it was. You are the mirror. Your thoughts and emotions are the images. Do not mistake the image for the glass. When you feel anger, say, "There is anger passing through the mirror." Do not say, "I am angry." When you feel joy, say, "There is joy passing through the mirror." Do not say, "I am joy." This small shift in language creates a space, and in that space, you find inner peace. You find the wisdom to know that no matter how intense the image is, it will change. It must change. It is the law of the universe. To live this way is to be truly free. You are no longer a slave to your circumstances. You are no longer a victim of time. You have found the timeless within the timed. This is the goal of our journey. Not to stop the world from turning, but to turn with it. To embrace the impermanence of all things with a smile, because you know that you, the real you, is the space in which it all happens. As we reach the end of this reflection, look around you. See the light changing on the wall. Feel the weight of your body on the chair. Listen to the distant sounds of the world going about its business. All of it is shifting. All of it is beautiful. All of it is exactly as it should be. You are ready now. You have the tools to navigate the chaos. You have the wisdom to see the opportunity in every ending. You have the strength to let go, and the peace to remain still. Go out into the world with your head held high, not because you are sure of what will happen, but because you are sure of who you are in the midst of it. A witness, a creator, a flow of light in a world of shadows. The river continues its journey, and so do you. Impermanence is the wind in your sails. It is the fire that cleanses your heart. It is the very breath of life itself. Do not fear the change. Become the change. Find the silence in the noise. Find the joy in the fleeting. Find the home that has no walls. You are the sky. The clouds are just passing through. Stay in the center. Stay in the light. The path is always open. The moment is always now. Be still and know